Alright guys, I've got a ball joint problem. That's what she said. As I thought it was upper, and I still think it is because of that separation. But as I do this, well, everybody will laugh. But if you look down there, alright. There it goes. You see, it's no longer there. It's popped out of the stuff there. I still think that bear's gonna get it, and I hate, I don't know if you can see that, but that Zerk fitting back there, I don't even know what to use to get to it. I guess I'll have to buy a special Zerk fitting somewhere. Well, anyway, if that helps anybody, if you can see, I've done this job before. I have drilled the rivets, put in the bolts, but I cannot remember. See the bolts right there. Can't remember the torque on them dudes. So I'm gonna have to do a little research. There's my pry bar. I don't look at that number. I have not confirmed that to be correct. But well, evidently my camera has decided to, or my phone has decided to limit my interaction to just a few minutes. So don't you hate talking to yourself when you're trying to make a video? That does kind of stink. But basically what I was saying is I replaced these a few years ago. I don't remember that brand. It's probably Detroit Axle, but I'm not sure. It's about 20,000 miles. Well, let's see. No, I'm sorry. I bought it with 90,000 miles. Probably went 10 or 15, and I'm at 160. So it's about 60,000, maybe 70,000 miles on that set, which ain't horrible, seeing how I replaced them at 90. So I guess they did about the same. So I recommend Detroit Axle, and I'm fixing to put in another one. And I doubt I'll have to do this again unless something really goes crazy. I don't know if it caught on this other one or not, so I'll do this again. So what you do is you kind of find a place that you can kind of use leverage. And I don't know if you can make sure you can see that, but that lower ball joint is separated. The upper one is contaminated, so it probably ain't gonna last long. So I'm gonna replace both of them. I just got to figure out how on earth I got them out of there last time. And I'll probably do the other side. And the way you're supposed to do them, evidently, is replacing the upper and lower control arms. This being a Ram 1500 two-wheel drive, not a four-wheel drive. And that just looks like a lot of work. Take that spring out, and although you would get new bushings, that'd be nice. I might be able to replace those bushings anyway, but that whole unit is about $70. And all four of these are about $80, so it's quite a bit of savings. I'll have to look into that bushing idea though. And I've yet, after all these years, I used to have a 67 Chevelle. I worked on it, rebuilt the engine. Ain't no telling how many times I had them tires on and off and brakes. And of course I've had a bunch of cars with disc brakes. I worked on my family's cars, and basically what I'm saying is I don't know why I don't have a caliper hanger. Ain't that crazy? I may have one by the end of the day. Then another problem with these things is I bought the type that were not pre-greased. See that little zerk back there? I gotta figure. I guess I'm gonna have to get me a 90-degree zerk fitting or something if it'll fit. And so that boot does not have grease in it, or needs some anyway. And the ones that don't have the zerk fittings, I think they don't necessarily need that. I'm not exactly sure why, how that works, but mine is not to figure this out. It's just to replace the part. And this is my truck again, 2001 Ram 1500. Needs a paint job. Be nice to do a driveway paint job. If anybody actually sees this and wants me to give it a shot, I might just give it a shot. I just don't know what type paint. I've been told that using a low volume, high velocity, high volume paint gun, which I think is what they use in house painting, and using some Tractor Supply paint might be a good way to go. And then I'm looking at this boat paint that's self-leveling, and it looked decent. I do not like the black, kind of like a primer look. It looks like it came out of a trash fire. I do not like that. But red or gray or another color maybe. And I've also thought about the bed liner stuff, although I'm not sure about that either. That looks okay, but I don't know. I just want something simple that don't look as bad as peeling paint, and it don't have to look good because it ain't no show car. It just pulls my boat, and it's just transport. Honestly, all my cars are just transportation. After that Chevelle, I used to keep that thing super sweet, and that was a lot of work. And so after that, I'm just kind of over it. So anyway, have a good day. So I've now got the caliper out. I'm not gonna take the bracket off, I don't believe. It's just a caliper. I didn't want the hose to get busted, so thought I'd just get that out of the way for good measure. But now I got a decision. So my lower one is my problem. The upper one's also looks like it needs to be done. Which one to do first? So the potential energy, I think is what it's called, will help me. So if I undo the top one, I like the bottom one to be a booger. But if I use the stand and put jack up on this, that may help pull it out of there when I go to do all this. I don't know. So maybe you will benefit from. I'm not going to be able to let you actually see everything I do. This is not actually a tutorial. It is just a, maybe help somebody out type video if you do see it ever, because AI and Google and all the big boys don't want you to see the little guy. So we'll see. And so at the minute I'm thinking the weight of this will help pull the top one off, but because this one also has to go down, the press, I just may have to use a press to get that off. But the good thing is if it gets too difficult, I actually got it bolted on there. I can unbolt it and press it out here where it's all out of the way. Matter of fact, I could even do the same up there. So I don't know, we may end up seeing how I may actually do the pressing off the vehicle if I find myself needing to. Anyway, that bolt right there is over an inch, so I'm gonna call it 1 1/4 inches, and I think I have that somewhere. That up there is smaller. So I'll give you an update when I get there. Alright guys, I'm back. Got the two castle nuts off. The top one's a 13.6 or what did I say? Yeah, 13/16 with a long handle. Wasn't that hard. Bottom one needed to check the cheater bar. I used big old Mr. Handy I got somewhere. I don't even know where I got that thing, but it sure has been handy. I've even got a bigger one somewhere. But it's starting to look like I may end up doing these off the truck, but I'm gonna try to do the top one, because even if I get that off, that ain't gonna separate it from up there. Now I'm thinking about that. So first part is just get it loose. Then, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna do the bottom one first, because I think it's got to come out of the way no matter what, and I gotta break it loose no matter what. Even if I'm gonna do the, yeah, because I can't separate it off the vehicle, I don't believe, from the, what I mean separate it from the spindle or whatever this unit's called. I can't think of it right now. Alright, I'll check back in. Well, it's only been about a minute. I used a persuader down there. It's about a 2-pound hammer. Just tapping it on the side right here, and that popped loose, which is good. So I'm fixing to try it on the bottom, but I just realized that's got to come off. Guarantee you that's going to be the booger, but we'll try it. That tie rod in. So be nice to make it where it can't turn, because I don't want to go down that road, but here we go anyway. I'm gonna separate that. I'm gonna separate that. I don't know what else I'll do, but we're gonna start there. Alright, see ya. Alright, I got another update. This is actually going pretty fast. So this series of updates, I'll give you a total time, even with me washing my hands and having to think about it, because look how tight that is. It's just what the problem turned out to be on this top one is this little boot is rock hard. So if I can figure out a way, either fix that or replace it or something, I may do that. But if that boot ain't replaceable, then even though it is good now, all that grime and stuff's gonna be getting up in there, and it won't be long until I'll be at this point again doing all this work again. So I sure hate to replace a boot for $20, but at the same time I don't want to do this again just to save $20. Problems after problems. But what I was really keying in on is I should not have taken that nut off there. It would have kept this thing up there while I do the second piece and that. So I got to figure out how to get that back on there. Just put that nut on there so I can do the work on the next one. Alright, we'll see. I'm going to go ahead and take this off though. Well, I don't know. I'll tell you in the next update. Alright, it's only been a few minutes, but I thought I'd show you that. So, looks like if I can get this little thing here has a band in it. So if I can get it over that, may save myself $20, but more or less, I may just do it for experience, even if I get it on there, just so I'll know next time what the deal is when I see that. But this go around, since I have new parts, and it's not very expensive, it's $20 or so for that little piece, maybe 30. Not horrible. It's a damn shame, but it's not horrible. We'll see. I'm gonna take a side trip here and see how to put that on there. Maybe using a socket or something. I'm not sure what to use, but I'll let you know. See ya. Alright, here's one for you. If you ever wonder which side to put the Carter key in from, I always put it outwards, but there's probably merit to go the other way. But I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of in there, cinched a little tight. So I thought, I'm not really sure if you can be able to see this. I'll try it one-handed for a second, but I don't want to turn my phone up either. So, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this tight as I can, and I'm going to tap the side of it with a hammer. So, I doubt I'll be able to show you this. If I do, that means I got 3 hands, and I'm an alien. Alright, ready? See there? Alright, I guess I'm an alien, because I was able to do that like I had 3 hands. Or like a boss. I hate that saying. Like a boss. What the fuck's that mean? I'm sorry. I'll bleep that out. That don't work. I was gonna do that like an edit, but I just have to figure out how to bleep it out. Alright, so another problem. Even though I've got that off there, my gear wrench setup, which I really like, did not go up as high. It'd be really nice for that, to be honest with you, gear wrench, if you're listening, for a backyard mechanic like me. I need a master set because I never know what I'm gonna be into. It'd be really nice, that ratchet right there, to be as long as this Pittsburgh one, or telescopic. I seen that. I thought that was pretty cool. Or maybe even a sleeve, kind of like I use that driveway pipe, or that galvanized pipe right there. It's a fence pipe. Has a cheater, but honestly, that's just too short. It needs to be a good, something like this longer. But interestingly, so the 19 was too small, the 7/8 was too large, and I've got this from Harbor Freight. Keep one in my car, one in my truck, because it comes with a 2-pack. And oddly, I'm lucky enough, the metric and the SAE are so close that I've been able to keep them in my truck and my car, and I keep my Ryobi impact. That's been a pretty good one for what I use it for. And I'm fixing to use it right there, because it turns out that's a 21. How about that? So I'm gonna put this thing in reverse. I'm gonna put it on 2. See if I get lucky enough to spin it off there. And that's exactly why I bought it. So thank you, Ryobi, that's a Everman's tool, common man's tool, backyard mechanic tool. I have that Milwaukee. The only reason I got that is that thing, it's got a good RPM on it, but it almost would be nice if it somehow had a ratchet spine on it, so I wouldn't be afraid to use it like a ratchet. Matter of fact, there's sometimes gear wrench, see, that I use it, that little extra just gets me there. So I did not figure out that yet again, but I'm gonna push that. I tried and then I failed because I don't have anything deep enough just yet. I may try something like that. That ain't quite the right size either. But anyway, I may abandon that project and do that out on the bench when I got time, because I need to get this job on them. So I'm gonna, don't know if that's gonna, I don't think that's doing any good, but I may get the persuader out. But I learned my lesson using an old castle nut, and I think I got one in there to bang on. Don't bang on the end. It'd mess up the threads. The castle nut will mess up, and so be very careful with this part. I might actually even use a piece of wood. I don't know, but I've boogered that up so bad once that I had to take it off, go get the alignment, everything. It cost me a lot of money. It was an educational day, and maybe you'll benefit from me. Look at there. There you go. Use a carpenter hammer. Bang, 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 bang. That made it very nice. And so I may actually let you listen and see this next piece fall on me. So what am I going to do? I need it to be up there. Let's see. See if I won't break my leg on this thing. I was going to let you see it, but the carnage, I don't know. Alright, one more quick update. Turns out, when that thing breaks loose, all this is going to fall, and quite frankly, it's heavy. So I think I am going to take this out, and I'm going to take this off. That will take a lot of the weight off this piece and make it maybe where I don't get myself hurt. But I thought I'd just let you know that coming down to it, it looks like that's just going to have to happen. And I may throw my impact on there if it'll fit, because it'll make short work of those bolts. Alright, see ya. Alright, I got another one. I dilly-dallied for about 20 minutes looking for these two tools. This is a downer and an upper, 1/4 to 3/8, 3/8 to a half. I'm sorry, 1/2 to 3/8, 3/8 to a half. And they're kind of nice. And I did find I'm telling you, this video is really starting to annoy me. I don't know why it's doing this. I don't understand why it keeps cutting. Anyway, I'll start one more time, just in case, because I don't know exactly when it went off. These are adapters. It's really handy to have. 1/2 to 3/8, 3/8 to a half. I found where I did this one time before. It's a 1 1/16 that I can put on there, because I'm going to have to torque all this back together. And by using these reducers, I can use my Milwaukee to zip that one out while I'm trying to hold this up, because I ain't that strong anymore. I've had bypass surgery. My chest is just not what it used to be. I'm turning into a kind of a weakling at my age, definitely. So I'll be hopefully gaining strength over the next couple of years. That bypass surgery is no joke. All I can tell you is watch your cholesterol and keep your stress down. Anyway, now I'm just going to consider that one of my breaks. But this time the video is not doing it, so I must be touching the screen, or I really don't know what's happening. If I can figure it out, I'll quit doing it. If it's me. Alright, I'll give you another update later. Alright, another update. I'm still on this. I had to go buy some, or rent a tool. I'm going to try the standby. This is what, I used to have one of these. But as I'm under here, I don't know if you can see that. I've got a second problem. And I don't know what it is. So after I finish this, that I guess will be my next something to do. Eureka! I'm finally to here. Kind of wish I might have got me one of those, but I guess something to remember is to do this. And get another really good reason to have a bottle jack. At least one bottle jack. And that particular one is a useful one. Low and strong. Big footprint. Alright. It is time to get those off there. And yeah, let's do it. What I seen on the video, may or may not link it to it, but it's TRQ. It's actually under Dakota to get the rear wheel drive version of this. And they keep saying there's a rear wheel ball joints. And I'm like, at least I've never seen them. So I don't know. There might be some special version. But here we go. That one, see, I can't even move that one. That's what they look like when they're broke. So all I'm gonna do is undo all these screws, and the only difference is I'm going to put these nuts on top because that's what they talked about in that video, and they had a reason. And there's no torque spec on those. You just tighten them down really good. So I will tell you, this is supposed to be 80, I think. This is supposed to be 60. So I'll probably at least hit the same as these, somewhere in the area, just because. And then hopefully that freaky thing goes back in there right this time. I don't know what was up with that. Anyway, I'll catch you up later. Well, it's time for another update. It's about 3:30. I think I started around 10. As I'm messing with these videos, I'll be able to know that. But I had to take a break because while the top and that came off, I hit it. The bottom one did not come off, and I had to go get a ball separator. It did not work, but I think it did loosen it. And then when I started hitting the side, it fell. Putting it back together, it's been kind of a journey because I went in there to watch another video. I finally found a video, and they said it needs to be supported. Turns out it needs to be supported for a few reasons. One of them is all that stuff just hangs. The other one is you would never get that back together if you didn't raise. You got to raise the whole thing up for that to go in. This one, because it sets in, it's okay. So getting that on there, winding it up. So my recommendation is go to somewhere and get new cotter pins. I got these from Harbor Freight a long time ago. It did come with some, but when I take the old stuff off and got to put it back on, you got to have new cotter pin. And then initially I had those the other direction, but I saw to put them this way before they said that sometimes there's some bumpage of some sort, so I decided to go up on them. And my little impact was a Pearl, to be honest with you. This 1/2-inch impact from Ryobi, 3-speed. I put it on its lower setting and ran all that up, and then got my torque wrench. By the way, this is my Pittsburgh 3/8. I also got a 1/4 inch. They have a 1/2 inch. I recommend my personal self on the 1/2 inch because it's just nice. Is a Tecton. And these guys are super. I got this one the first time, and that little label thing wasn't quite accurate. I had never had one of these before, and I'll kind of simulate it. It was about that far below it. I sent them a picture. They sent me a brand new one without fussing, without telling me I'm stupid or anything. And now the new one sets like that, which is what it's supposed to. And I can run it up to 250. It's old school, but putting on lugs. I found out this little plastic deal, if you don't get them just right, it will squeak. And it's kind of nice because it let me know my wheels wasn't torqued correctly. I don't know how I missed that day, but that's what happens when you get tired. And I'm getting tired today. So to do this job, some things that was not in that TRQ video. See those little grease fittings? You gotta have some grease. So this, remember this thing turns, locks it on there. I'm gonna invest in a little quick lock because your hands are greasy and they'll be greasy. It's hard to turn. It's got knurlings on it, but I mean, not really. It needs like a daggone wing nut. If I could put one of those on there, I would. Tack weld it or something. I got a buddy of mine that can weld. I'm gonna have to clean that up a little bit. That's brand new, believe it or not. Look at it. I don't know what happened to that. Anyway, it may be that caliper was so hard to get off. It might have something to do with it. I don't know. But anyway, like I said, that is 20-ton jack that I used to raise my shed up. It was sagging in the middle where I got it used and didn't have enough time to dig out where the footing is going to be, so it then settled. Then I got a mole with excavation equipment, and I think he kind of helped it settle some more. But anyway, that dude's been pretty dang good. Other than to do that, you have to have a great big piece of wood, you know, huge, something to make the foot much bigger, because it just goes into the ground too. So you got to have a, you know, something about big around like that, or maybe a little longer to stop it from compressing into the ground. Anyway, did I mention I'm a civil engineer? Sorry, I didn't mean to jump off there. Alright, so I got to retorque that. So I went and got my Haynes manual. This one was 95. This one is supposed to be 60. I don't know what that is. And then I got to go figure out what all these other torques are supposed to be. So that's the reason I say you need a couple different torque wrenches to really make it helpful. This one, I'm going to do this one. This one's 60. Because that other one, I don't think, I could probably get it in there, but I'm going to use this one. I'll keep you updated. Alright, one more update. I hope one more. I bet you I'll have another one with that caliper. But I didn't notice it, and I can't change it. That hole is this direction. Ain't that crazy? So, what I'm going to do, so all the way in there is about right there. So, I am going, whoops, there we are. So, right there's the hole. That's how long it needs to be. So, I'm going to start curving it with a hammer and chisel as I go in there. So I've already boogered this one up, but I'm still going to use it because they're going to get boogered up no matter what. See how it's going in there? It's about right there, which is far enough really. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to bend it, both of them, and let's see. Yeah, I'm going to bend them. I'm going to hammer and chisel them with a. I'm going to put you down for a second. Alright, basically at a 90. And so, weirdly, while ago it just loosened up and I could actually put it in there all the way on my finger. That was, see, hammering it and then do that. So, anyway, now I'm going to go a little further and I'm going to bend it again. And that should do it for this part of the journey. Show you what they look like under there in case you just kind of want to see. I don't really know what that does, but it dry rotted and fell off a long time ago. And I ain't really seen the need for it. So I ain't done nothing about it. But I got a feeling if you sit in like really big holes and such, it probably kind of does something to that. I don't know. I just know that don't do that. Anyway, here we go again. Well, I'm there. Getting ready to torque that down, and well, I'm finished for now. I'll probably do the other side, and I got that antifreeze leak, and I got a transmission line leak, and I've been meaning to mess around with forever. But we'll call this side done for now. Well, it's 5 o'clock Central, and I started 10:30, at least with the videos, but in truth I probably started 30 minutes earlier than that, kind of prepping. So then I had 2 hours going to get the tool twice. First tool didn't work, second tool didn't work either, but it at least helped, I think, because then when I beat on the side, that lower joint come loose. So yeah, then I got all the tools put up. That probably took 30 minutes. Cleaned up my hands and such. So 10 to 5, so that's 5, 6, 7 hours, so 5 hours. So plan on 4.5 to 5 hours with breaks, because I am wore out. My neck hurts. Those back two bolts that Haynes manual didn't really clearly say that the caliper housing, they call it adapter, 130 foot-pounds. That's a monster, even with a half-inch torque wrench. That was still a monster. Turning your tires outward so those bolts are as far out as possible will help, though. When I first did it, I didn't do that. I didn't think about it. But be careful if you're at it up on stands, because when you make that, when you turn them out, like I did, little issue. So I might do a highlight of what to do. That, as far as I can tell, there's not a video out there that shows the other part. You know, if you're doing it in your driveway, what actually are you going to have? If you don't have a nice, cushy lift, you know, air conditioning, no wind, no sunburn, no wind burn, you know, all that. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, Hopefully this helps somebody if you do find it. But if nothing else, it'll help remind me when I have to do it again. Y'all have a great day. 2024, by the way. This is October 2024.